What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Welcome to What the Fuck Are You Reading with Kali and Kaci, a podcast and book club for all of the book lovers and shit talkers. Good evening, Kaci. How are you?
Hello. I'm very good. It's Friday. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, and just to warn you, I may have to clear my throat or cough because I woke up with a sore throat. And like my house has the never-ending plague, it seems like.
It's because there's too many of y'all. Y'all need to start kicking people out.
Yes, can we start with children? I mean, I was saying because we have a lot of animals too, but like I would like to
Yes.
start with the children. Okay, so I want to tell you all about The Night Shift by Alex Finn.
Yes. Yes. Okay. First of all, I just want to start off by saying it was so much better than I expected it to be.
Really?
Yeah, like I really, really liked it. And I've noticed that, like, in our Facebook group, everybody else that has finished it has seemed to really, really like it too.
I want to kill like half of these characters. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, they suck.
Yeah. So I don't know if I loved it. I'm still digesting. Like I just finished.
I didn't say love. I liked it. I didn't love it.
Okay. Well,
Okay, tell me all about it. Start from the beginning.
okay, so the prologue starts on New Year's Eve of 1999, which is already setting the stage pretty good because like you're probably not old enough to remember what you were doing on Y2K night, New
I was
Year's
like
Eve
2.5
1999.
years old.
Okay, so you definitely don't remember what you were doing, but I do.
No.
I remember exactly what I was doing that night. I was making up a dance to a Spice Girls song
Hell
with
yeah. That is like
at
the perfect Y2K.
yes, me and Courtney at Melanie. So and it's so funny because Courtney and Melanie are both fuckers now.
Yes,
And
yes. Oh, what a callback.
yes, so that's where I was. I was at Melanie's house and me and Courtney were making up a dance. So we were not concerned that the world was going to end. Courtney and I, we were not even a
We
little
got
bit worried about it.
choreography to do.
So, the manager of a Blockbuster and 3 of his teenage employees are murdered. And their
Let me just
names, the
stop
3
you right there. You know how pissed I'd be if someone murdered me while I'm at fucking work on New Year's Eve? I'd be pissed. Oh my god. Okay, sorry, carry on.
Yes. So, the 3 girls' names are Mandy, Candy, and Katie that get killed.
Terrible.
We jump immediately 15 years later. And so this is day 1. Ella is the only survivor of the Blockbuster attack. And she grows up and becomes a therapist, like a therapist with major issues.
Well, I
um,
mean, yeah.
yes. So she goes into the city, into New York City. So I'm not sure exactly where they're at, but it's close to New York. I think it's Jersey.
Yeah, they
Enough
did
to
mention a couple of times that New York was, like, within driving distance, like, within an hour.
right. So Ella drives in just to find a one night stand, even though she's engaged.
Hell
So
yeah.
she goes into the city. And 4 girls are attacked in an ice cream shop, and there's only 1 survivor. So this is separate. This is 15 years after the Blockbuster murder. They call Ella and ask her to go talk to the girl, the survivor, since she's been in a similar situation. So Ella heads to the hospital, and she recalls that she was non-responsive after her own attack, but this girl is fine, that she's going to see. So here's the lowdown on the second mass murder. After midnight, the employees of the Dairy Creamery were murdered. The mother of 2 of the girls, who were sisters, so this mom just lost 2 children in one night.
That is so terrible. Oh my god, this Arthur is fucked up.
So the mom goes to the ice cream parlor when she can't get a hold of them or can't find them, and she finds the bodies.
Oh my
And
god, it's
there's
even worse.
she finds her own children. There's 1 survivor, and it's a customer. Her name is Jessie, and she is in foster care. Then we meet Keller, who is this pregnant woman. She's pregnant with twins. She's an FBI agent. She's called in
That
to work
should
this.
be a crime in itself, is being pregnant with twins.
Oh my god, I think I would love to have twins.
first, I
Magnolia
think.
and Evangeline. Magnolia and Evangeline.
That's terrible.
I think those are great names.
Jesus.
Okay.
Okay.
So they call Keller in to work on this case. Um, her husband is the most annoying person that I've ever met in my fucking life. I haven't met him. He is the most annoying person in the world, and I
What
hate
makes you
him.
say that?
Oh my god. He is the happiest. He's, like,
Dude,
unnecessarily perky. His name is Bob.
he spent 2 seconds on the character development for Bob.
Bob has no personality. Bob, like, bores me to tears. I can't handle Bob. So,
Hey, but he got strong swimmers if he put 2 of them in her.
yes, he did. So it just introduces us to Keller, and then we go back to Ella. And Ella meets with Jesse, the survivor. Jesse is not interested in talking to anybody about what's going on. So Ella tells her about her own experience and how she walked into the break room and was hit with a blow to the head and woke up to find a, like, decapitated body next to her. So
Yikes.
that's what happened to Ella. That sucks. And it was different for Jessie. She was not friends with the victims. She had only gone in to use the bathroom, and when she came out, she got hit over the head and knocked out. There were no other customers, and she didn't see anything suspicious when she walked in. The only thing that Jessie remembers is a man leaning over her and whispering, "Good night, pretty girl." Um,
Disgusting.
and then Ella is immediately thrown into another dimension because that's what they told her too. The night
Uh-huh.
that she survived, somebody told her the
Oh,
same thing.
so that's when
So,
her wheels start turning.
she is immediately like, "Oh, is this the same killer from from back then?" So,
Uh-huh.
then we meet Chris. Chris is a lawyer, a public defender, and he was 12 in '99. How old was I in '99? I was 10. Yeah, I was 10. So he's 2 years older than me. He grew up with an abusive father, and his mother was completely absent, and he had an older brother named Vince. And on the night of the Blockbuster murder, Vince was arrested. Chris was ultimately adopted, and in the aftermath of his brother's arrest and everything, DCFS, they got involved, and he ended up in foster care, and he got adopted by this other family, changes his name, and just doesn't even acknowledge that part of his life anymore. He has
Okay.
just moved on. So back to Keller. In both cases, the killer used a knife. So far, there's no leads in the second case in the ice cream murder.
Oh,
But
and
they're
I think
hoping.
I might have heard you wrong, like, Vince was arrested?
Yeah, Vince was arrested the night of the Blockbuster.
Okay.
Mhm. The night that it happened, he got arrested. That's all we know at this point. They're hoping that Jesse tells them something, anything, because there's no leads for the ice cream murder.
Okay.
So the reason that Keller is put on the case is to try to rule out Vince Whitaker, the original suspect. So he was the suspect in the Blockbuster murder, and he was arrested and then let out of jail on insufficient evidence, and he disappeared. So
Ooh.
they don't know if it's him doing the second murder. It's been 15 years. They don't know where he is.
Okay, but, like, let's be
So that is
realistic about
her.
that. He was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna be in hiding to where no one can find me, and 15 years later, I'm gonna murder a bunch of teenagers again." What kinda idiot?
In the same town. In the
Yeah,
same
like,
town.
that the yeah.
Plus, it's really hard to, like, stay missing. I don't
Uh-huh.
think that
Yes.
that normally works very well. So, that's Keller's whole duty, is to figure out where Vince is, try to rule him out or, like, not rule him out, but just either way, to figure out what Vince's part in this is. And she gets a partner. His name is Atticus. We're back to Ella. She's thinking about all of her time that she worked at Blockbuster, and she became a therapist to try to unpack some of that trauma from that event. But I don't think it worked because
Yeah, she
she has
seems still
issues.
pretty fucked up.
She is, yeah, she's bitch got some issues. So Keller meets her new partner in his office. He has a whole wall like one of the pin board walls with all the
Ooh, yeah.
strings and all.
Yes, I wanted to do
Yeah,
that one
he's got
time,
one of
and
those.
Bryce wouldn't let me.
what were you investigating?
Oh, girl, my dad being the ultimate scammer, I was fucking calling everybody, getting all the evidence, and Bryce would not let me put it on the wall. He was like, "I think you need to calm down."
So he's got a blockbuster wall, and Vince Whitaker is the only suspect on the board. And they head out to the ice cream shop murder scene to see if they can get any information from that. And Atticus is the expert on the blockbuster case because it's a cold case. It's been a cold case for forever. They
Yeah,
don't know what
in
happened to
his
Vince. They didn't have
hometown.
any other suspects. Yes.
I know how obsessed I
So
still am
this
with the Campbell murders in Maryville, so, like, I get it.
Yeah, so he's a younger detective and he's obsessed with the case. So he points out that on the night of the Blockbuster case, Vince disappeared. He was arrested the night of the crime after being seen at the Blockbuster earlier in the evening. His car was in the parking lot at closing, and one of his fingerprints was on the handle of the break room door. But he was released quickly because of insufficient probable cause. So I guess not sufficient evidence. I don't know if it makes a difference, but he was really the lawyer got him released. And then the murder weapon is found in Vince's locker the next morning. So I'm like,
After they
okay,
had
like
already
case
released
closed.
him?
Can we? Yeah,
That's so
yeah.
they were
They
like,
released
"Okay, let's
him.
go get him. Oh, can't find him."
Yes. Whoops, can't find him. And then I'm
Oh,
like, why
y'all
are we even
suck.
talking about this case anymore? If they
Yes,
found
it's
like I
not
would be a
cold.
terrible detective. If they found a knife in somebody's locker, like immediately, like that's the person who did it. I don't
Yeah,
even
it
want to
ain't
talk about it
cold, it's
anymore.
hot.
Like
It's hot.
so there have been random sightings of Vince throughout the years. Most of them have been abroad, but the FBI did not spend significant resources trying to find him for some reason. The victims, the two high school girls and their manager, are marched into the back room. There was a panic button that they did not hit,
Stupid.
so that makes them think that they knew the killer. Either that or it just happened really fast. But let me
Mhm.
tell you, nobody's convincing me not to press the button.
Mm-mm.
I don't care what's
Wait,
going on.
okay.
Like, you come in acting aggressive to me,
So, mom has a panic button.
I am pressing the
Oh.
panic button.
Oh, I'm fucking beep, 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 beep. Like, mom has a panic button in the pharmacy, and I used to press it all the time. And anyways, I got in trouble.
Well, did the cops come?
Maybe they
Oh,
call for, I don't remember. This was 10 plus years ago, so it might be different now. But I know that I got very much so in trouble for pressing the panic button at the pharmacy.
you probably needed to press the button. If mom was coming at me, I'd press the fucking panic button.
27 years old, pressing the panic button.
If she was coming at me, I'd press the panic button. She's gonna get so pissed off when she hears that.
Mm-mm. We had to sugar her up because we're gonna be talking shit the whole rest of the time, Mom.
So the girls are lined up face down on the floor. There are no signs of a struggle. This is the current ice cream murder. There's 3 pools of blood where the bodies were, and the survivor, Jessie, was in the bathroom during the attack. And when she came out, she got knocked unconscious, and they have no idea why she was spared and the others were killed. The murder weapon does not appear to have come from the scene, so the killer must have brought it with him, and he also took their cell phone whenever he left, and the money was left in the register. So what was on the phones? Like, was the whole point that he needed to get into the phones to delete something?
Mm.
So that's my first question. What was on those phones?
He had to go delete his nudes.
So the phones got turned off or broken or whatever. They stopped signaling just after 10 p.m., which was closing time at the ice cream shop. So then the next thing Keller wants to do is interview the victim's friends. Ella gets home to her fiance is supposed to be gone on a business trip, but instead she gets home and she is in like dressed in club attire, like very clearly has been out all night partying. She had a one night stand last night and then she went straight to the hospital to talk to Jesse all morning. So he has had no idea where she's been gone all night long. Like she's supposed to have been at
Wait,
home in her bed.
I'm I'm just now reminded of when she walked into the hospital room. Jesse said, "Where did they get you from? A strip club?" That's how I
Yeah.
knew she was gonna be my favorite character.
Yeah. I wanna know what she had on. Very curious. So he's like, "Where have you fucking been? Like, where have you been?" And she's like, been at work." Like, "Okay, you're a fucking therapist." So you've been at work all night dressed in that? Um,
My therapist wears a cardigan. What the fuck are you wearing?
yeah, but apparently he got back from his trip early, and this is an issue that they have had in the past. So to blow off steam, she just likes to go fuck strangers. That's her thing. And this is a problem for him. He does not like that about her.
Find a
So
new
he dumps
hobby.
her.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess. I was trying to justify it. I was trying to find some way that I can justify that for her.
Nope,
Um,
nope.
but
Start a
I don't
podcast.
think it's
Don't
gonna
fuck
work out.
randoms.
Mhm. So he dumps her and tells her to get her shit and get out. So poor Ella is now being kicked out of her home. Keller and Atticus are going to the high school to interview some of the victims' friends. And Jesse's friends too, because she's the survivor. A detective asked the principal if anyone would want to hurt those girls, like anybody, like students or teachers, and he acts like he wants to say something, but a superintendent stops him and says that there's confidentiality laws.
Mhm,
So, like, what's he gonna say? What does he know? Who hates them? But then they change their mind about all the confidentiality stuff, and it turns out that they had a new janitor at the school, and the first background check came back fine, no problem. But they run a second one that's more intense, and bam, prior conviction. He was convicted of lewd conduct with a minor.
mm,
So they fired him after that, and but there were no incidents while he was employed there. So we have two suspects, right? We've got Whitaker, and then we have the janitor, Randy Butler. So it turns out that Maddie and Hannah were both popular. Those are the two sisters. They're a senior and a junior. And then Jessie Duvall was new at the school, but hadn't had any problems since she had been there. Keller asked for a list of the employees within the last year and in 1999. She wants to see if there's any of the same employees working at the school that worked during the Blockbuster case as well and would have known those kids.
mhm.
So she's trying to connect the case. And so they give her a collection of old yearbooks, which I love old yearbooks. I
Mm.
I had to stop saying that. Like, I'm obsessed with old yearbooks.
We have all of them.
I know.
Every year at Maryville because mom graduated in '88, so we have almost every yearbook since her freshman year of
Well,
high school until 2015.
and then at Gamesey's house, we have all of,
Oh,
like, my
yeah.
dad's and aunts and everybody, so we have
Yeah.
tons of old yearbooks. I love to look at old yearbooks. So the principal seems like a genuinely good person. He worked there as a teacher in 1999, but does that make him a suspect if he worked there, like, from back then and
I mean,
currently?
Keller wanted a list of all the people, so I guess yes.
So only the principal and one other 80-year-old man worked at the school at the time of both mass murders. He says he didn't know the girls from the Blockbuster murders well at all. One of the victims didn't go to that school, and the manager wasn't even a student. He was older. Not like a lot older, though. He was like 21. He was still a young kid that got killed. So Jesse had changed schools because of some unknown incident that was not disclosed at her previous school. And I'm sorry, but what? Like, why wouldn't the school have to tell? Like, if you're going to a new school, if I'm the new school, I want to know why she was kicked out of the old school,
Yes,
right?
same.
Okay, just making sure that we're clear on that. Like, I don't think that that's acceptable. Yeah, I think that the school should definitely have to disclose any major disciplinary issues. Vince Whitaker was also a student there during that time in 1999, not with Jesse, but back in the day. So that's a little bit confusing about this book is that we do jump all over the place and from point of view to point of view, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep it clear. Keller stops in at the bathroom at the school, and while she's in there, she overhears one girl ask another girl about the cops wanting to talk to her, and the The girl responds, "You better not tell them anything." So there's something going on.
Mhm.
What is she hiding? But Keller can't tell who it is. She only sees a purple backpack. The next step is to get a behavioral analysis on the killers from both crimes to see if they match to where it could have been the same person. So they start working on that. There was no video footage, so that's off the table for either case. That's not going to help. Chris is listening to an orientation for a new public defense lawyer. So we're back to Chris, who is the lawyer, remember? And he is Vince's younger brother. And an older lawyer tells a story about Vince Whitaker's lawyer who got him out of jail. So after Vince disappeared, this lawyer became a complete pariah. The whole town turned on him. Everybody was so pissed off that he got Vince out of jail and then Vince disappeared that it basically completely ruined his career, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yeah, which I'm also just going to say that this does not sound like an encouraging first day of work speech to be giving all the new lawyers.
Yeah, for real.
We could probably work on that a little bit. So Chris is in a terrible financial situation. He doesn't make much money as a public defender. He's got a ton of student loan payments and he has a ton of credit card debt. Then we find out that Chris follows this anonymous travel vlogger who he obviously thinks is his brother.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. And I mean, it's understandable why he would. Like, there are a lot of
Mhm.
similarities between the two, and he just wants it to be him.
Mhm.
His name is Mr. Nirvana, and he never shows himself on the screen, but he's shown in his videos that he's coming to the United States, and Chris wants to find him whenever he gets there.
Mhm.
So Ella goes back to the hospital to visit Jessie again, finds out that she's been discharged because of insurance issues, and she goes to Jessie's foster house. And Jessie throws me for a loop here because she reveals that she stalked Ella's fiance and she guessed that she had cheated on him the night before. And so I'm like, okay, Sherlock. she figured she's like this 16, 17-year-old kid.
So, does Jessie know who Ella was before Ella ever walked into her hospital room that night?
Yes.
Okay.
Jessie says that she asked for Ella
Okay.
because, yeah, she
Okay.
knew. She's very nosy. So Ella's honest with Jessie and tells her that Brad kicked her out this morning, Brett, her fiance. And Jessie opens up to Ella a little bit and tells her she wants to be a journalist. And Ella asks her if she's working on any stories. And Jessie responds with she is working on the Blockbuster murders and goes ahead and asks Ella for an interview. So that's why she wanted to see Ella.
Hell yeah.
So Ella's like, okay, I'll think about it. So then Keller, the pregnant detective, goes to visit Rusty Whitaker, who is Chris and Vince's dad. And let me fucking tell you that this guy is an asshole. Everything about him is an asshole.
Oh, I hate him. I hate like, he is number 1 most hated character in this book.
I feel like he reminds me of some of our family members.
Don't name drop.
No, I'm not name dropping. I'm just saying, like, it could be.
He's straight out of Maryville.
So Keller goes to the storage facility to interview him, which is where he works. But he was on his lunch break and he chooses to eat lunch at a strip club buffet every day.
Hell yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I'm not fucking eating anything at a strip club.
Okay, but Lafayette Strip Club is known for having one of the best steaks in town.
That is a fucking lie. Okay? That is a lie. They are getting good reviews for something besides the meat on the
Hey,
plate.
yeah. Hey, the steak was good, but the sides,
So, yeah,
the
I don't know.
happy ending that comes with a steak.
I'm not eating anything. So I've pretty much already decided that Rusty is guilty of everything because he eats at a strip club buffet.
Oh, Rusty did it. I don't need to read the rest of this book.
Rusty did everything. I don't need to read anything else. Like, Rusty eats at a strip club buffet. Like, he obviously is a psychopath.
Mm-mm.
So Vince's dad says that he has not had any contact with Vince since the day he disappeared and that he doesn't want to. Like, this dude is a complete piece of shit. The night that Vince got released from jail, Rusty kicked him out of the house. He left to go to the bar and said, "Have your stuff out by the time I get back."
Mm-mm.
And when he got back, Vince was gone, and that was that.
Rusty's like, "I
So
said what I said."
mhm. Atticus continues to question Rusty, asking him if he drove to work that day because it was Rusty's car that they saw in the Blockbuster parking lot.
Mhm.
Vince didn't have a car. These people didn't have money. Rusty had a car, and that's what was seen in the parking lot. And if he worked that day and got home from work around 10, then how could Vince have been the one to take it to the Blockbuster? He could not have.
Mhm.
Okay, so I've just decided that Vince is not guilty.
Same. That is the exact moment that I decided that too.
Okay,
And that's
so
also when I was like, "Why did they never look at Rusty for these murders? I don't understand."
exactly. I thought that too. So, and then Rusty acts like he didn't remember. And I'm like, this is the day that your child went missing. What do you mean you don't remember? I would remember every detail of that day,
Mhm.
of the
Mhm.
day that my child went missing, much less like the day that like a set of murders occurred and your child is accused of it and all of that. Like, there's just no reason, there's no excuse in the world. I don't think there's a drug you could take to erase that from your memory.
Mhm.
And that's all they get out of Russ. He doesn't wanna talk to him anymore. So then some detectives go to speak to the janitor. Remember, we had the 2 suspects now. We have Vince and we have the janitor. And when they go to visit the janitor, he has barricaded himself inside his home. So Keller and Atticus rush over there to the site of this standoff, and this big macho head detective kinda tries to bully them away. This is asshole Arpeggio. I call him that,
Mhm.
like, basically for the rest of the book because he's just not a pleasant person, but Keller stands her ground and they stay. Atticus looks up the janitor's criminal record while they're there at the scene. They're at this standoff, and what he finds doesn't point at all to him being a child molester. 20 years ago, when the janitor was 18, he got his 16-year-old girlfriend pregnant, and that's what he was charged with, like, I guess, statutory rape but
Mhm.
it's not like he was a grown man molesting
Yeah, like
children,
he's
like,
not
they had
a
been
rapist.
together.
Yeah.
And he's the caregiver for that child that they had back then, and the child is not a child, he's 20, I think, or 19. He has autism. So then it gets crazy because the detective, like the asshole one, Arpeggio, he is literally taking a battering ram to the door of this house and breaking his way in when the janitor comes up from behind them. They're beating the door down to get to the janitor. The janitor is comes up behind them and is like, "What are y'all doing? Like, what the fuck are
"Hey,
y'all
yo, what's
doing?"
up?"
Um, so they thought that the son
Oh,
was
and he
the
was just
dad.
scared.
Right. Yeah. So, they said that he kind of was brushed past them and knocked one of the detectives down and was abrupt and didn't speak
"Oh,
to
you
them.
stubbed your
Um,
pussy? Ugh."
Yes. So that's what this whole standoff is. And now they're beating in the door with guns drawn. Um, and then what if he makes a sudden move or something? Like, he doesn't know.
Mm.
Anyway, it's a very scary situation. Keller runs in and she uses like her little FBI authority to make the SWAT team stop and stand down, and they do. And it was a little anticlimactic, I'm not gonna lie, because it's like it's all this big buildup and then
Yeah, I kinda don't
nothing.
understand this scene at all. Like, why write any of this, honestly, but carry on.
Right, but the boy was okay. Keller goes viral on YouTube from a video somebody recording this.
Mhm.
Um,
Agent Badass.
Her boss is pissed. Her husband should be pissed, but he doesn't have a fucking personality, so he's not. He's just
Poor Bob.
like, "This is her." Fucking Bob.
8
I
months
can't
pregnant with
stand
twins.
I can't stand Bob. Damn. So Chris goes to pick up his fiance or girlfriend or whatever she was from for a work party, and he is just a bitching about how great she is, but he's still not happy. She's so beautiful, her apartment's so fancy, she's so successful. I'm like, so why are you fucking complaining?
Yeah, that
Like,
she
he just
sounds great,
never
actually.
stops. Yeah, she sounds like a catch. Like, what are you doing?
She's hot, rich, and successful. Ooh, she sucks.
She buys him this amazing suit, and he's so offended.
Men are so aggravating, bro.
So I kind of come back to his side because when they go to the party, like, everybody's super condescending to him because they're, like, these super,
And
criminal
he's a
defense
public defense
lawyers
attorney,
that make
yeah.
a lot of money, and he's a public defender who has really not done any major cases. He's only doing, like, small drug cases and stuff like that. So, I did feel a little bit bad for him, but he's so whiny. Chris is very whiny.
I thought so too.
So, then we go back to Ella. Ella is back at the bar for the 2nd night in a row, but Keller meets
And
her there
homeless.
and homeless. She does not seem too concerned. And Keller implies to Ella that she does not think that the cases are connected, which I'm confused. Like, why? Like, at what point do you think that these cases are not connected? You've got this small town. They describe it as a small town. I don't think it's like Maryville small, but maybe like Lake Charles small or DeRidder small.
I would
Y'all
go
don't know what
DeRidder.
these towns are. Okay. Small, anyway, smallish town, big enough to have a Blockbuster, but and an ice cream shop at least.
Mhm.
And so these very similar murders occur, and then based on that alone, don't we have to suspect that
But
they're connected?
they do like suspect that it could be a copycat because there's no evidence that they found yet that is
Well,
confidential until
Ella tells Keller how in both cases that the killer whispered, "Good night, pretty girl."
yeah.
So,
But
um,
Keller didn't know that before because Ella never told anybody.
no, Ella had never in all this time told anybody what the murderer had said to her. So what? And why, Ella?
That's what I thought too. Like, that's
What
kind
do
of a big
you mean?
deal.
What the hell is wrong with you? What do you mean you didn't tell anybody what the
You're
killer
a
said to you?
therapist and you're stupid? What?
You you just felt the need to keep that little bit to yourself? Like, I feel like that's relevant. Anything is relevant in a murder case.
Anything,
Like,
absolutely anything.
ugh. So I was very bothered by that. Anyway, with that being said, how could this be a coincidence? If she had never told anybody what he said to her, and then somebody else said the same thing, then it's gotta be the same guy,
Mhm.
okay? I'm gonna die on that hill because I just don't understand how they think it could be 2 separate people, ever. So Ella stays at the bar after Keller leaves, and she's fixing to head out with her 2nd one-night stand in 2 days, and she hasn't been home.
Don't nobody like dick that much.
Okay, okay. I don't know if that's true, but I do know that she hasn't showered. She went home and got kicked out immediately.
Mhm, I didn't think about
I also don't think she slept, so I don't know how this is working. I was very bothered. So Jessie calls Ella, and she's in trouble because she got caught with little sticky fingers at Target and she was shoplifting. So Ella calls an Uber because she's too drunk to go pick her up in her own car. So she goes and talks to the security guy and tells her about her situation, that she just survived a mass murder the night before, and he lets her go. Luckily, she doesn't get arrested. And then Keller's husband is again making me nauseated with how nice he is all the time. Freaking Bob gets on my damn nerve. And then I have never shoplifted actually, but I do think that I would be like extra scared to shoplift from Target. What about you?
Mhm, mhm.
Like
There's cameras everywhere.
there's cameras everywhere and it's like really light in there and the aisles are really wide. So if I shoplift from somewhere, like I'm definitely going with like a Dollar General.
Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna take one of their fucking rolling carts of shit that they need to put back on the shelf, and I'm going to the car.
Yeah. I was really worried about this. Like I spent like 15 minutes deciding where I would shoplift from. And
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I know that stores in the mall have, like, less rules because I remember your old friend used to tell us
yeah.
how when she worked at Victoria's Secret, they were not allowed to stop people, but now, at this age, I'm like, "I don't want nothing from Victoria's Secret."
So Jesse brings Ella through the woods and to the railroad tracks, and like my spidey senses are going off, and I'm feeling very uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
And Jesse's like, "Come on, Ella, the train's coming. The trains are coming." And Ella's clearly thinking that Jesse is about to jump in front of this train. And I don't know if she is or not because the chapter ends.
Uh,
And then we shoot over to Chris, and he is back at the apartment with his fiance. So for the first time, he tells her about his brother Vince and the murders in his childhood. Like, he is engaged to this woman,
okay.
and she doesn't know that he has even been adopted, much less that his brother was accused of murder.
That's
And
kind of like a second or third date conversation,
yeah, well,
not,
like,
"Hey, I know we're getting married."
I'm an oversharer in
Oh, big
general,
time. Me too.
so definitely if
First awkward
somebody
silence.
if somebody didn't tell me that, like, if I was her and I was finding this out after we had been dating and gotten engaged, like, it doesn't say how long they're together, but, um, if we had been together for a significant amount of time and I didn't know that, like, I'm immediately questioning our whole relationship.
Same, same.
Red flag. That's a big red flag for me. And
Poor Chris.
he's telling her that there is no way that Vince could have done it. He was this amazing brother, but somebody had seen him arguing with one of the victims that night. His car was in the parking lot. His fingerprint is on the door. The knife is in his locker at school the next day. And that's pretty damning evidence.
Mhm.
Like, I understand why they thought it was him. And fiance Claire is starting to seem a little bitchy, actually. And I don't know if it's because she doesn't like the idea that he's lower class than her. Like, she's finding out that he came from this really troubled background and how he grew up and all that. Or I don't know. But it jumps back. Jesse did not jump in front of the train. Whew. Okay. Luckily, she's fine. We found out that she's okay. She just stands uncomfortably close to the train that's barreling by. And okay, like, she got some kind of thrill out of that. I don't understand. Like, that would make me, no,
Uh-uh.
thank you.
No, trains scare
Stranger,
me.
yeah, I was gonna say stranger danger. It's not stranger danger, but it is scary.
Stranger danger.
Um, yeah, stranger danger. You're so stupid. Okay. Listen, because I got chills. I really did get chills. As they're standing there by these train tracks, Jesse looks at Ella and says, "Oh, about last night, I lied."
You bitch.
End of chapter. End of chapter. Thank you for listening. Please leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify.
Go like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube, join our Facebook group, and follow us on Instagram.
The links to everything are available in the show notes.
And 5 stars only. If you have anything less, please turn your phone off and mind your business. Bye, fuckers.